What's up everyone? My name is Magnolia and today we are building this tree you can see behind me. Let's go. For those of you who aren't familiar with my channel, we build trees. We build this from the bottom up, starting at our first little layer, and then we build up like that. We do this by use of these little graphs in our top left-hand corner. And the most important thing for you to know is that that little purple dot in the center is just our reference point that we build around. If you ever get lost, just start there, and that will always be on the same coordinates every single time. Last week, we did this very neat looking Italian cypress. I've seen cypresses mainly in cemeteries, but I do know a lot of people grow them in their backyards in like the southwest of the US to help with noise prevention from neighbors. I've seen people with a whole border of cypress trees in their backyard. This cypress tree is very neat, very well maintained, and the one we're building today, not so much. It's a little more natural looking. It looks a little bit like it's dying, a little bit sick. Looks like it maybe is about to get ripped out, but honestly, I think it has a lot more character than the other one. So here is our materials list right up on screen. If you are interested in downloading these graphs, I do have a Patreon, which I will link down in the description. And let's get going on layer 1. Okay, let's start with our oak log right here. 2 trap doors, just like this. Do layer 2, an oak log, a spruce trapdoor, and oops, some leaves. Layer 3, another oak log, some more trapdoors, and some leaves. For those of you who are not familiar, I do use that little gray dot in the middle of a block to represent the pale hanging moss underneath. So when you see that little gray dot, it just means the pale hanging moss is underneath, but you can add it wherever you'd like because it's your tree. We have our first spruce fence and another leaf, and then we are done with layer 3. Layer 4, we have our oak log with a fence and a bunch of leaves. Perfect. Just like this. This tree does have a decent amount of layers. It has 24, but they do go by pretty fast because there's just not that much meat to it. Another oak log for layer 5 with some leaves, fence, and a trapdoor. Just like this. Layer 6, another oak log, a spruce trapdoor, some fences, and our leaves. Perfect. That is layer 6 done. As you can see, we're already getting some really good variation to these leaves as compared to our very uniform cypress. We start with another oak log right on that center dot and a couple of spruce fences building out some of those branches and our leaves. I am using this light blue wool as a spacer just so we don't get confused where we're placing things. Perfect. Just like that. Layer 8 marks 1/3 of the way through. We have more fences for branches. And you see how this one is kind of branching off in a couple different directions. You guys know I like to do it with my trees. Just creates a little more variety and lifelike nature to them. Real trees do not grow like this. Not naturally, at least. We do have a trapdoor and more leaves. That is layer 8. Layer 9, a nice simple one. Oak log with just a few leaves. And layer 10, we have some trapdoors which do create some nice variation to the thickness of the trunk. And we'll add our leaves. Just like this. Perfect. Layer 11, we start with another oak log. Our leaves with some pale hanging moss. And some fences for a branch. Then we'll flesh that out with some leaves. That is layer 11 done. Layer 12 is an oak log with some trapdoors, again for that trunk variation. And some fences. And our leaves. Perfect. That is layer 12 done. And we are halfway through. Layer 13, we'll start with oak log, spruce trapdoors, and just a couple little leaves. Layer 14, we have an oak log, some branches with the fences, and our leaves again. Fallen. Perfect. That is layer 14 done. Layer 15, we have an oak log and a trapdoor, and we're continuing out this branch, and we're adding in our leaves. Layer 16, we have our oak log, a trapdoor, and a new branch over here. I also think this does mark 2/3 of the way through the tree. Math has never been my forte, so don't take my word for it. Perfect. Layer 16, done. Layer 17, we have an oak log, a spruce trapdoor, and some fences with those leaves. Perfect. Layer 18, we have our one oak wood, which is totally optional. I just like it because we will be placing a mud brick wall on top of it in the next layer, and you can kind of see it through the top, so I like the covered top of the oak wood better. We have a fence and some leaves. Perfect. Layer 19, we have that mud brick wall I was talking about, and our leaves. Oops. Layer 20, mud brick wall with a leaf. Layer 21, our last mud brick wall with some more leaves. Layer 22, spruce fence with again some leaves. Layer 23, pretty much the same story. And layer 24 is just a leaf, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our completed, scraggly, dying, sad-looking cypress. I love it so much. I actually got the chance to study an IRL cypress tree. We went to the cemetery for Easter, as is our tradition in my family, and I got to see that they were replanting some of the cypress trees, and I had just gone on break from making videos, and someone had commented, "Oh, I'd love to see a cypress tree," and I was like, that sounds kind of boring, because I'm used to seeing that kind of cypress tree. Very, very uniform. Then I went and saw these cypresses in the cemetery were sick and dying, and I was like, ooh, that could be a really good build. So I went home and I played around with it, and here we go. Voila, we have today's video. So if you liked today's video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, drop them right in the comment section below, and if you'd like to subscribe, please do subscribe. See ya!